You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a building collapse in Iowa causes the injury of one person.
Also, a deer ends up causing a rear-end crash in Jasper County, Missouri.
And we've got a few scattered showers, even some thunderstorms out there across the area. We'll talk about these showers and what we can expect for the afternoon coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Amber Jenkins. A rear-end crash begins when a vehicle strikes a deer in Jasper County, Missouri. Reports of a crash along eastbound I-44 near mile marker 15.4 alerted Jasper County Emergency 911. Responding authorities discovered a rear-end crash after the first vehicle struck a deer. The driver of the first vehicle suffered moderate injuries. His vehicle became disabled after striking the deer. The driver of the second vehicle suffered serious injuries when she struck the disabled vehicle. A 1-year-old child in that vehicle suffered only minor injuries. Authorities surround a home in the Royal Heights neighborhood in Joplin. Joplin Police Department execute a contain and call out in the Royal Heights neighborhood in response to a domestic situation. Officers surround a residence in the 2100 block of East Odessa and announce on a bullhorn for the occupants to exit the residence. JPD says they entered the home looking for a suspect, but once inside the residence, no one was located. This is an ongoing investigation, and you can read more about this story as it develops. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities arrest a man with a felony warrant after a homeowner and witness chase him down the street. Reports of a male breaking windows from a house alerted Iowa County Emergency 911. The homeowner and witness chased the man down the street until he was out of sight. When Quapaw marshals spotted a man matching his description, they began questioning him. He ran towards a nearby housing complex. Authorities deployed a K-9 unit which apprehended the suspect. The suspect had 2 active Iowa County warrants for distribution and possession of controlled dangerous substances. Marshals also gave further pending charges. We'll have more on the story as it develops on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com.
We've got a few scattered showers, even a couple of thunderstorms out there right along the I-49 corridor. They're not moving too much, but they are beginning to weaken a little bit and slowly but surely beginning to die out across the area. So you can see we've got one Jasper County, Barton County, Vernon County, all the way up to Bates County. So we've got these showers, we've got these little thunderstorms. They should continue to die out as the morning progresses. And the rest of us are going to have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies through the morning. And then by this afternoon, we're going to start to see additional scattered shower and thunderstorm development take place across the area. This will hold on with us through the evening, and then it'll start to die out, and then we'll go into tomorrow, and we'll see the same thing happen again. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, showing some clouds out there. Otherwise, not bad. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Our camera at 7th and range line. Got those clouds a little darker off behind me where those showers are. 68 in Joplin, the south breeze at 6 miles an hour. Temperatures, not too bad. 68 Fort Scott, 65 Chitopa, 64 Miami, and 68 in Neosho and Carthage. As we get our morning started, again, the rest of us mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, near 80 by late morning. Highs today pushing the low to mid 80s, maybe even a couple of upper 80-degree readings out there. We'll be partly cloudy, and then again, as we head into this afternoon, some of us should start to see some additional scattered thunderstorm development. Amber?
Thank you, Chris. A Pittsburgh woman is sentenced for a murder that happened last year. Authorities say Verla Gillen shot and killed Harold Sheets of Pittsburgh after an argument. She recently pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and aggravated burglary. She is sentenced to 6 years in prison. Authorities in Anderson, Missouri respond to a burglary in progress and then find a naked man. On Monday at almost 1 in the afternoon, Anderson Police Department responded to a burglary in progress near the 1500 block of Ledgepole Avenue. The homeowner says she walked in her living room and to find a man sitting on her couch naked. She left the residence and called 911. APD responded and set up a perimeter around the residence. They began making announcements to the man inside after a brief standoff in which the man refused to leave. De-escalation techniques were used. The man fled into a backyard where he was detained without incident. Charges were issued for burglary, felony vandalism, and resisting arrest. A car collides into a tractor trailer at 4:20 a.m. Happening at 20th and Pennsylvania in Joplin, Sergeant Jared Swain says that both vehicles were traveling west and the tractor trailer turned to go into a business and the passenger car clipped it and flipped. There was no injuries from the crash. This is a developing story, and we'll have more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. There are no confirmed deaths after a building partially collapsed in Davenport, Iowa. City officials credit the fast response of first responders. Danielle Barkis reports from Los Angeles.
The frickin' building just collapsed.
Rescue crews sprang into action after part of a 6-story apartment building in Davenport, Iowa came tumbling down Sunday night.
Because of the response and because of the concern for life by our first responders to get in the building knowing that that building was unsafe to help folks, I can't stress how, because of that, they saved lives. They saved lives.
The wall was torn away from this top-story apartment, leaving only a closet filled with clothes. The collapse brought a massive pile of debris to the ground.
No notice, it just came down like an explosion, like a bomb.
Another resident described the aftermath.
There was a lot of screams, a lot of cries, a lot of people saying help when the building came down, but that did not last. 2 or 3 minutes, and then the whole area was silent.
K-9 teams helped search for residents. Firefighters led 12 people to safety and rescued 8 others.
At this time, the building is structurally unsound, is posing a risk to responders.
Officials plan to demolish the building. The fire department had ordered the owner of the more than 110-year-old structure to make repairs, and work was underway. There were reports of falling bricks, and residents had complained of many issues inside. The cause of the collapse remains under investigation. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Officials say at least one person is hospitalized. There were 84 units in the building. A gator is caught in Oklahoma, and authorities down there say it's a big one.
And later, we've got another look at that forecast and those storm and shower chances across the area. We'll have that coming up. But first, we've got another live look from Lakeside Park in Pittsburgh. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, 7:10 almost on this Tuesday morning. We got some scattered showers right along the I-49 corridor this morning. Those will begin to die out over the next hour or so. Then as we head to about 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, additional scattered thunderstorm development across the area. We go into 6, there's still a few of those scattered storms out there. By 9, we're left with just some dying showers, and then eventually that will clear out. And then as we head into our Wednesday afternoon, we will see this pattern repeat again. Here we are at noon. Got a stray shower or 2 out there, but by the time we get to 2, 3 o'clock, more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. By 5, they're starting to shift westward into parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and then by the late evening hours, they are gone again. Then we head into Thursday. Got a couple of stray showers out there by noon, and then by the afternoon, a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms. And as you can see, by Thursday, these are going to be a bit more scattered than what we're going to see today and tomorrow. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, cloudy skies, otherwise not bad. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 this morning, just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera, 7th and range line, we got those clouds trailing off of those showers along the I-49 corridor, sitting at 68 in Joplin, breeze is south at 6. Humidity's up there, 70%, dew point's up to 58, so it is a bit on the muggy side. Temperatures around the region, 67 Lamar, Pittsburgh, 62 Parsons, 64 Miami, and 68 Neosho. We get our morning started. The rest of us that aren't under these showers will be mostly clear to partly cloudy, approaching near 80 by late morning. We head into the afternoon, highs low to mid-80s, partly cloudy skies, those showers and storms out there for some of us. They'll die out this evening, back down to 63 for our overnight low, and a quick look at the 7-day pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon all the way through Monday. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s and maybe near 90 by Thursday. Well, you've heard of gator catching in Florida, but what about Oklahoma? I'll take you to Idabel, where the gators are starting to come out, according to researchers in the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation. Kristen Weaver reports.
This is what it looks like to capture a massive alligator in Oklahoma. These traps entice the gators with bait and then shut and enclose the alligator. Once captured, the gator's jaws are tied shut so researchers can get a closer look.
And we were struggling to catch them by hand, but then we got all our big traps running and this hot weather started, and now we're just catching about one a day.
Dr. Jared Wood is one of the researchers working on the project thanks to a grant from the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation. He says now that it's warm outside, the bigger alligators are making their appearances.
Almost the entire month of May, we've been in the field.
The researchers are trying to find out how many gators are native to Oklahoma, and they're studying their mating patterns and ways of life. Once they're captured, either in a trap or by hand with large grabbers or a noose, Wood and his research partners, Dr. Tim Patton and Dr. Jake Pruitt, attach a transmitter to the alligators to track their movements. They also weigh and measure the alligators. Wood says it's taken a lot of patience, but having these incredible results makes it all worth it.
You can just see the smiles on our face, and I mean, they're big, beautiful, impressive animals to begin with.
Alligators in Oklahoma, I'm not really sure if I am prepared to have them that close to home. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:16 on this Tuesday morning. We got those mostly cloudy skies in Joplin with those showers along the I-49 corridor, sitting at 68 with a south breeze at 6. We look at temperatures around the region. Not a bad start for us. 68 in Nevada, 67 Lamar, Pittsburgh, 62 in Parsons and Independence. A little cooler in Sedan, 59, 64 Miami, and we're sitting at 64 in Monette. We get our morning started outside of these showers along the I-49 corridor. The rest of us should be mostly clear to partly cloudy through the morning. Temperatures approaching near 80 by late morning. Highs today, low to mid 80s across the area, partly cloudy skies, and by this afternoon, say about 2, 3 o'clock, start to see some scattered thunderstorms out there. So not everybody's going to get some, but some of us will see some scattered showers and storms this afternoon. Those will start to die out as we head later into the evening hours, and that'll leave us partly to mostly cloudy and still mild, as you can see, 77 by 10 o'clock, but eventually dropping back down to a low right around 63 degrees. And this pattern repeats for the next several days. We have these pop-up thunderstorm chances all the way through Monday, and these are going to be afternoon scattered storms, so they're going to be hit and miss. Temperatures warm up, though. We're talking mid to upper 80s, maybe even as warm as 90 by Thursday. But, of course, that keeps our overnight lows nice as well into the mid-60s. Next week, scattered pop-up storms continuing through at least Wednesday, and then we'll start to cool down a little bit. Temperatures back to lower 80s, upper 70s by the middle of next week. Well, in honor of Memorial Day, a theater performance is hitting a place where it hasn't been in more than a decade. Amy Doyle takes us to Crystal Falls, Michigan, and has more on this tribute to World War II love stories and memories.
The city of Crystal Falls is sparkling with the revival of live theater for the first time in over a decade. Saturday's gem of a show, titled War Bonds, brought songs and letters of World War II to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the playing of our national anthem.
Stepping back in time with the performers to preserve actual World War II era love letters in this 20-year-old show, it's hard not to get carried away.
The concept of the show began after I interviewed my father before he passed away. One of his memories is featured in the show, actually.
Heart of the show, Serena Ebart, feels that now is an incredibly important time for our local youth to be exposed to these stories from the war.
The world ebbs and flows, both politically and with warfare, and we'd like to never, ever have to go into a situation like this again where the whole world is at war at once.
Ebart shared a particularly poignant moment with her audience and credits her musical director, Julie Florin, who played an especially important role.
They realize, oh, we know that tune, and they don't realize that it was from this time period.
Everybody wants that song to finish, but in that particular moment in the show, it doesn't finish.
Thanks to the Library of Congress Veterans World History Project, the show includes preserved stories from memories of veterans around the nation.
No matter how simple or mundane you may think those letters or memories are, they are wanted.
The actors want to thank and honor those who served on the front lines, paying the highest price.
Now, there will be a live peck on the cheek kissing booth for the Crystal's World War II themed USO dance on Veterans Day. Theater board is currently searching for a local band familiar with the jitterbug. We'll be right back after this, but first we got another live look from Lakeside Park in Pittsburgh. Well, imagine you're at a thrift shop and you open a tote. You go through it only to find someone's Purple Heart. And thanks to one Good Samaritan, it's been returned to its rightful place.
Abigail Coulter has more on this amazing find and led a family getting back their Purple Heart.
Veteran Nate Railing spent 10 years in the Army and is now retired. He spends his Fridays at the Rogers Flea Market and never imagined one of those trips would lead to him returning a piece of family history.
Came across a tote at one of the vendors and noticed a tattered box for a Purple Heart laying inside.
The engraving on the back read Nicholas P. Wargo. He put out a call on Facebook, and within 2 days, Wargo's family was found.
Realized that this was indeed my uncle's Purple Heart medal.
Nicholas Wargo, or as his family calls him, Uncle Nick, was from McKees Rocks, just about an hour southeast of where Nate found his Purple Heart. He was an accomplished amateur boxer beloved by his community and had Olympic aspirations. He was going to attend college before the war, and in 1944 he was fatally wounded in battle.
Awards of this magnitude always have usually a terrible story that goes along with them. And that's our brothers and sisters. So it means a lot to me to be able to give this back to the family.
Railing tells me he knew he had to put together something special to return the heirloom. About a dozen members of Wargo's family spanning generations came to Lisbon for the rededication.
For military merit and for wounds received in action, rededicated this day, 28 May 2023.
Uncle Nick's nieces tell me Railing's effort and dedication to returning the Purple Heart means everything to them.
He's always been very special to our family, and we really did not know what happened to the medal, and just to have it back just means so much to us.
It's such a precious heirloom and part of our history that we were just thrilled and amazed that somebody was so generous that they would seek us out when it was found.
That was incredible, and everything he set up and went through to make it so special, just to return something like that was just awesome.
I mean, it's just in time for Memorial Day, so
yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
Worked out pretty well, and be able to get the whole family back together and get that lost item reunited with the family.
Just hearing that story was so touching. I was getting like goosebumps. I was like, wow, I know that means a lot to the family.
It does. That was impressive. Well, we've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. Missouri families who were promised emergency pandemic grocery funds last summer are still waiting, even as another summer is beginning. Pandemic EBT is a federal program administered by states. Last summer, it was designed to provide a one-time deposit of $391 per eligible child and grocery benefits to assist low-income families. The benefits, like regular federal food stamps program, could be used like a debit card called electronic benefit transfer to purchase eligible food. Last week, the department issued a statement saying teams are in the final stages of testing data files so they can start administrating this summer benefits. On Monday, the GAR Cemetery in Miami honored fallen veterans with a Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony included colors entrance march by local Marine Corps, a performance of the Pledge of Allegiance, and a flag ceremony. An opening and closing prayer was led by United States Navy veteran and City of Miami employee Kevin Cogg.
We've still got a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms holding on along the I-49 corridor from Bates County down into Jasper County. Once those clear out, the rest of us are going to experience mostly clear to partly cloudy skies through the morning. Temperatures pushing near 80. Then as we head into this afternoon, highs today low to mid 80s, maybe a couple of upper 80-degree readings out there. Skies will be partly cloudy, but roughly between 2 and 3, we'll see the development of some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. So not everybody getting rain, but some of us will. Those will clear out later this this evening. We stay mild initially, and then we'll go partly to mostly cloudy overnight, dropping back into the low 60s. And we'll continue to see pop-up thunderstorm chances all the way through at least next Monday. Temperatures mid to upper 80s, possibly even near 90 by Thursday. Amber?
Thanks, Chris. Pittsburgh State University also honored veterans with a Memorial Day program at PSU Veterans Memorial. The program featured traditional elements of a Memorial Day ceremony, including color guard comprised of cadets from PSU ROTC program and playing of taps and singing the national anthem by PSU music students.
I know two of these people, Rick Ramsey and John Kopfer, here on panel 40E. These are not names to me. These are friends.
The recording of the event can be viewed anytime on PSU's Veteran Memorials page. Pittsburgh State University's president, Dan Shipp, just returned to Gorilla Nation after biking around the state of Kansas. The purpose of the trip was to meet potential future students and earn money for those students. During the biking trip, PSU earned $7.6 million in pledges and met over 1,000 new friends.
We did it. Over 800 miles covered. We saw some amazing places, had a chance to meet some amazing people, connect with our alumni along the way.
You can read more about this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We're just under a week away from the Treasury Department's new default deadline. Today, a key congressional committee is set to approve the compromise deal that the White House and Speaker McCarthy struck over the weekend to raise the debt ceiling. Now the race is on for lawmakers to pass it and avoid economic disaster. Jared Hill has the latest.
Today, the House is back early for Memorial Day break, working to turn a debt ceiling agreement into law in just a matter of days.
You know, I never say I'm confident what the Congress is going to do, but I feel very good about it.
Over the weekend, the White House and Speaker Kevin McCarthy hammered out a deal called the Fiscal Responsibility Act. It would raise the debt ceiling through 2025 while keeping non-defense spending at about the same levels through 2024. It also claws back some new funding for the IRS, takes back unspent COVID relief money, loosens some environmental rules, and temporarily adds work requirements for some social safety net programs like food stamps.
Compromise means sacrifice for the most marginalized and the most vulnerable. We are not seeing our ultra-rich, our corporations, make any sacrifices at all.
Progressives and some hardline Republicans are both critical. Members of the Conservative Freedom Caucus wanted deeper spending cuts and are threatening to vote no.
Oh, I think you're going to see that there's people across the political spectrum that are opposed to this.
The first hurdle will come during today's vote in the House Rules Committee as Treasury's June 5th default deadline inches closer. Jared Hill, CBS News.
If the bill clears the Rules Committee, a full House vote could come on Wednesday. It needs bipartisan agreement to pass, and the White House has already called more than 60 House Democrats already to try and get them on board. That's a look at the top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We have Charlene Patton in Studio K to show us how to make a red potato salad.
Plus, we've still got a few scattered showers along the I-49 corridor. Otherwise, we're going to be partly cloudy through the start of our day, but more chances of rain on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back. But first, we have more live views from Lakeside Park in Pittsburgh. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In studio with us is the lovely Charlene Patton down from Topeka again. Thanks so much for coming down with us. You've had some really great, colorful recipes talking about how they feel like spring, they look like spring, and they've all been heart healthy, which I think is very essential for folks these days.
Giving them some good options to have for this spring. And here's another one. And this one is red potato and chicken salad.
All right.
So it's a little bit different twist on all these ingredients. We've started out with romaine lettuce in here.
Okay.
You're going to add some red potatoes. And I cooked those ahead of time. Boy, it's fun to use those. They're just those little potatoes. And then I quartered them so that they're more of a bite-sized piece.
Okay.
So yeah, add those to our recipe here. And then I've got 2 cups of chicken here. And course, cook that ahead of time. You could use leftover chicken. You could use another meat if you have it left over for this particular recipe would be a good way to use it. Then we have cucumbers that we have. A lot of things that are going to be good for the from the garden or the farmer's market right now. We have our sweet bell pepper that we're going to add. Getting lots of nice colors again. And if you don't have red, you could use green, yellow. We got all kinds of bell pepper colors, don't we? Then we have some grated carrots and some radishes that we're going to add to that. Perfect. Look at all those colors. Yeah, you're doing a good job. Stir this up, and then gosh, this makes a nice hearty salad because we've got that extra protein in there in the meat and the potatoes. Then I want to just show this dressing that we made. This has soy yogurt that we're using in here. But then we're also using some fresh tarragon, some fresh chives, and a little bit of rice vinegar to it. We're going to add that. I'm going to pour it on this salad over here that we've got on display a little bit. There we have that. And then we'll add that to our salad here. And stir that all together. That makes a really yummy fresh salad because when you smell that fresh tarragon,
it smells delicious.
Oh, it does smell delicious. And there you have it. We're just going to stir that together. It's ready to serve. I love this recipe. It makes if you're looking for something spring and refreshing, we've got a great recipe for you.
We certainly do, and we've had a number of great recipes, a couple of award-winning recipes this month, and all of these, again, heart-healthy, which, of course, you know, that's something everybody's got to do, is take care of your heart. It's one of the most essential things you have, and these are great ways to do that. So, Charlene, if folks want any of the recipes we've shown this month, or any other recipes for that matter, where can they go?
They should go to kansassoybeans.org, or you can call our 800 number, 877-KS-SOYBEAN, and ask for all the May recipes, and we'll mail all of them to you.
All right. Sounds excellent, Charlene. Thank you so much. And, of course, you'll find all this information on our website later this morning at KOAMnewsnow.com. We will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:40, almost 7:46 on this Tuesday morning. We have got ourselves a few scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms right along the I-49 corridor this morning, and they just do not want to give up the ghost from Bates County back down into Jasper County. So we're still dealing with some of these showers out there. Once these eventually clear out, we're going to see more showers and thunderstorms develop as we head later into the afternoon, say around 2, 3 o'clock. A few more rounds of scattered showers, thunderstorms. Here we are at 6, and then by about 9 o'clock or so, we're left with some dying showers, and then those will clear out, and we'll see this pattern repeat for the next several days across the area. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, looking good, but cloudy, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. You can see a little bit of shadow, a little bit of sunlight trying to get out there, and same from our camera at 7th and range line. The clouds along I-49 are kind of blocking that sunlight, but as it gets higher in the sky, we're getting a little more of it out there. 68 in Joplin, south breeze at 6. Around the area, temperatures not bad. 68 Nevada, 67 Pittsburgh, Chetopa, 62 Neodesha, 68 Miami, and 65 in Neosho. We get our morning started. We'll have otherwise outside of these showers, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, pushing near 80 by late morning. And as we head into the afternoon, temperatures low to mid 80s, maybe a couple of upper 80-degree readings, partly cloudy skies, and then we'll start to get some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms for some of us as we head into the afternoon and evening. Those clear out. We remain mild initially, then we go to partly to mostly cloudy skies later this evening into the overnight. We drop back down into the lower 60s. That's Check Your Forecast. Now here's Amber Jenkins with a check of Consumer Watch.
In Consumer Watch this morning, we were pretty lucky this Memorial Day as gas prices weren't up very high and neither were the foods like hot dogs or burgers. But they still got you somewhere, and this year it was the condiments. According to Data Assembly, the price of a bottle of ketchup is up nearly 28% from last year. Mustard is about 13% pricier. That's a lot more than inflation, so what gives? Experts say producers are still struggling with rising prices on commodities like sugar and wheat used in their products. Also, your worst suspicions might be true. Yes, some companies are using inflation as an excuse to boost their profit margins. YouTube is getting rid of its Stories feature next month. The feature was first rolled out back in 2017. Creators on the app platform could post content on their story, which will disappear after a set amount of time. Since it wasn't really popular on the site, YouTube users now want the company content creators to post more on different parts on the platform, like the community post section. Users will be able to access the Stories feature until June 26. A lack of growth, the streaming industry is forcing many platforms to remove its original content. Media analysts say streaming services pay to host titles, and removing content helps avoid additional residual payments and licensing fees. Some services even have to pay licensing fees to own its own parent company on original content. A report says platforms are able to save tens of millions of dollars by cutting content that was made specifically for streaming. The report adds platforms also often take into account the title's popularity to determine which ones get cut next. From learning another language to getting into shape, turning your goals into a game could make you more likely to stick with it. It's a philosophy behind many businesses are now marketing their products, and Evoltus has more.
With thousands of apps and other forms of entertainment at your fingertips these days, businesses are doing everything they can to command your attention. That's led to the rise of a marketing strategy known as gamification, the practice of implementing goals and milestones to keep users engaged.
Consumers are very good at finding goals and then wanting to meet them at all costs.
If you want to learn a language, apps like Duolingo and Babbel can help, rewarding users who come back every day by keeping track of their streak and putting them in different leagues based on how much they've learned.
Streaks is one of those types of patterns that we've shown can be really engaging and keep consumers coming back.
Okay, Peloton, let's go.
Fitness company Peloton exploded in popularity during the pandemic, bringing workout classes to your living room, along with the ability to track your progress on the leaderboards. Loyalty programs like Starbucks reward frequent customers with free drinks and other prizes. Even online dating has become gamified. Users on Tinder, Bumble, and other apps can swipe to meet other singles, getting a dopamine hit when they find a match. All of it intended to keep us coming back for more. Some psychologists warn it can create a cycle of addiction, but marketers recognize it works.
It's about the internal reward that you get from having a collection or knowing that you've checked off certain milestones, having a virtual trophy or badge.
Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. A touching tribute to endurance and freedom. This year marks a half-century since the signing of the Vietnam War peace agreement and the return of nearly 600 U.S. prisoners of war.
Now, last week, some of those men got together to share memories and celebrate being alive. Nick Watt was there.
Major Mark Smith and Sergeant Ken Wallingford, then and now.
I haven't seen this guy outside of one funeral we went to, one of our buddies, in 50 years.
That's how long it's been since they were released from a jungle prison camp. Now, back together to celebrate that half-century.
Listen, I don't want to keep you from your dinner.
It's a good thing, because I'm hungry.
And then he really gets mad.
1973. They and hundreds of other freed POWs dined with the president at the White House.
Never has the White House been more proud than it is tonight because of the guests we have tonight.
Exactly 50 years later to the day, here at the Richard Nixon Library, the same food. Neptune salad, beef, strawberry shortcake. There just aren't as many men left alive to enjoy it.
We considered Richard Nixon the guy really responsible for getting us home, and to this day we love the man.
Every man at this table was held at the same POW camp. There's Smith and Wallingford. In 1972, both were badly injured and captured after the brutal Battle of Loch Ninh.
Big explosion went off. I felt like half my head had been blown away. I was an agnostic before I went to Vietnam. Battlefield conversions, you're looking at one.
I'm the guy who knew I'd never get captured because that only happened to losers. AK round hit me in the shin, knocked me down out of the way of an RPG that was aimed at my chest and went off behind me and knocked me out.
They were held in bamboo tiger cages.
Explain to me what a tiger cage is.
If you've ever been to the zoo, seen animals in cages, they just put these logs, 5x6, 5x5,
into a cage.
Into a cage with a little door you had to, bend down to get in.
Held in those cages because they would not do as they were told.
We made no statements, we wrote no letters, we made no broadcast. Not one.
50 years on, these men are grateful.
Every day's a great day. I don't care what the weather's like outside.
And no regrets.
Major retired Mark Zippo Smith. War? That's what I do.
On Memorial Day, America remembers the more than 58,000 Americans who lost their lives in Vietnam.
It was certainly a tumultuous time in American history just overall, so it's great that these guys were able to make it back, as so many did not.
Just listening to them and how their just view of life changed after that, and they're some strong men. I give them that.
Absolutely.
Stronger than me.
Absolutely. I agree with you there. Well, we've still got some scattered showers, even a couple of thunderstorms out there this morning, and they've been lined up right along the I-49 corridor, and they're slowly beginning to kind of die out a little bit, but not too much. They will eventually roll on out of here and start to fizzle away, but at least for now, some of us getting some much-needed rainfall across the area. We will also see additional scattered thunderstorm development once we head to 3 o'clock this afternoon, and this will hang on with us into the evening hours before it starts to just translate into dying showers out there. And then as we head into tomorrow afternoon, we'll see this same process repeat by about 2-3 o'clock. Additional scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. By 5, they're rolling westward into parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, and by the evening hours, they are gone. And then this process repeats again over the next several days. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, we are cloudy, but all right. We're getting some sunshine on the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Seeing some of those clouds, a little more sunshine in Joplin now, 68. South breeze at 6. Temperatures really not moving that much this morning. You've got 67 Pittsburgh, 68 Lamar, 62 Parsons, 68 Miami, and 65 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, aside from the showers along I-49, the rest of us will be mostly clear to partly cloudy, and temperatures pushing near 80 by late morning. We're going to take another full look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. On Monday, the GAR Cemetery in Miami honored fallen veterans with a Memorial Day ceremony. The ceremony included the Colors Entrance March by a local Marine Corps, a performance of the Pledge of Allegiance, and a flag ceremony. An opening and closing prayer was led by United States Navy veteran and City of Miami employee Kevin Cogg. Pittsburgh State University also honored veterans with a Memorial Day program at the PSU Veterans Memorial. The program featured traditional elements of Memorial Day ceremonies, including a color guard comprised of cadets from PSU's ROTC program, and playing of taps and singing of the national anthem by PSU music students. Pittsburgh State University's president, Dan Shipp, just returned to Gorilla Nation after biking around the state of Kansas. The purpose of the trip was to meet potential future students and to earn money for those students. During the trip, PSU earned $7.6 million in pledges and met over 1,000 new friends.
Got those scattered showers and a few thunderstorms along the I-49 corridor this morning. By this afternoon, more scattered thunderstorms across the area. Not everybody getting rain, but some of us. Highs low to mid 80s, maybe some upper 80-degree readings. We'll see those storms die out later. Mild initially in the evening, then going partly mostly cloudy, dropping back to the lower 60s. And then we'll continue to see these pop-up afternoon thunderstorms all the way through at least Monday. Temperatures mid to upper 80s, maybe even near 90 by this Thursday.
2 sloth bear cubs made their public debut in the Philadelphia Zoo this week. Their arrival is celebrated as an important conservation win for this threatened species.
Born on January 2nd to their mom, Kayla, and their dad, Bahulu, the male twins lived in the den under their mother's care until they're ready to step into the outdoor habitat. The zoo is asking the public to help name the 2 adorable cubs by voting on its website, with options narrowed down to 2 choices with a Philadelphia connection.
Music lovers can vote for Hall & Oates, the Philadelphia 80s iconic pop duo with hits like Out of Touch and You Make My Dreams Come True. For sports fans, they can choose Kelsey and Harper, names of sports legends Jason Kelsey from the Philadelphia Eagles and Bryce Harper from the Phillies. The results will be announced early next week.
I feel like this is not the first time that we've had an opportunity to name newborns at different zoos across the area. So
I'm pretty excited. I hope they pick Hall & Oates. Like, I went to a Hall & Oates concert in 2019 in Georgia, and I was blown away. I loved it. I was probably like one of the youngest people in the crowd, but you know, I was still bopping to the music. So my vote, Hall & Oates.
That sounds like a great name for that duo. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon.
And have a great morning and have an even better day.